So till now, we have seen some various cases of solving problem where we had considered time delay, we had not considered time delay, we had considered damping. So that all changes are with respect to what the equation of motion is going to change. And due to the change in equation of motion, my response to vibration is also going to change. So right now I have summarized all those different conditions which can occur. So these are the conditions with respect to without damping and step excitation. So step excitation means I'm going to give a continuous force F naught to that system. So these are all cases related to step excitation. So earlier we have seen mostly things which were related to point of excitation, that was an impulse. Now these are step excitation. So let's see at the first thing. We have no time delay and we have step excitation, and without damping case is there. So the response will be something like this: 1 minus cos omega nt into F naught by K. F naught by K is some displacement. This is force upon stiffness, that is some displacement into some factor. Now we have with time delay. So with time delay we have to just replace t with t minus t naught, and t naught is the time from which I'm going to start exciting the system with that force F naught. And when we have with time delay questions, or wherever we have multiple excitations, or wherever we have excitations which were not starting from zero, or the impulse is not at zero time, we need to explicitly write the response in terms of a split function. So in split function, we need to split it as per the time interval. We need to think about them also. So if the excitation is starting from t0 for the case over here, so we need to split time from 0 to t0 and time greater than t0. And for 0 to t0, I have no excitation. So if we have an impulse earlier, the solution or response to that impulse will be written in the first part. And if the system was at steady state vibration, such response will be added. If the system was not having any vibration, it was ideal, it was not having doing any vibrations, that the response over here will be zero. And when t is greater than t0, I have applied the step excitation, and then the response is this plus whatever the response was there for time t0 to t0. And when we need to solve by doing convolution integral, and if we want to find the, so over here the step excitation is very simple to represent mathematically. But if there is an explicit forcing function which is given, then if we want to find the response which is greater than t0, and two functions are given, 0 to t0 separately, another function is given, forcing function, and a different forcing function is given for time t greater than t0. Then when we are finding the response for t greater than t0, we need to integrate the first function that is applied between 0 to t0 in the complete interval, plus for the interval greater than t0, we can apply from t0 to some time generalized time t. So the first function will give a constant thing, and the second function which is integrated from t0 to time t will give a function which is of time t. And let's come to another case where we have damping and we have step excitation, as I explained earlier. So when there is no time delay and there is a damping, so you must remember what is the change. This was the most simplistic response we had, and now this is the response we have. So this response, what is the change in this response is the new factor has come into picture. That factor is the damping thing. So in the numerator we have e raised to minus theta omega nt. The theta is the damping ratio, uh, damping coefficient by critical damping coefficient. In the denominator I have square root of 1 minus theta square. And one more change is the change in the frequency of response or the vibration. So over here we have omega n. In the denominator, in the new response we have omega d. And how is the omega d defined? So omega d is equal to omega n square root of 1 minus theta square. So when the damping is 0, then omega n is equal to omega d directly, and this term also goes to 0, and e raised to 0 is going to be 1. So this is same as what we had the case earlier. So here got so what trick we can use, we can directly remember this responses, and if the damping is 0, we can put theta is equal to 0 and get the original response which is without damping. And when there is a time delay and there is a damping, there are two things we need to take care. First, we need to introduce that coefficient or the factor which represents damping, and another thing we need to do is I have changed t with t minus t0 and t with t minus t0 wherever the t had come into picture. Other all things are the same. So over here we can stop. I have explained the general method of solving. Now the convolution integral is the only thing which is left. So in case of some general forcing function which is given to you, you can put that in the convolution integral and get the response directly. That formula is already available to you. In the next question, we'll look at another question to understand the things with more difficult forcing functions.